Namaskar. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thanks the committee for giving a tough subject. I think today avian influenza is one of the biggest problems we are facing. I try to share with you some of my view and experience on the disease. Okay, you can see my name there, my email address. I put very interesting Malaysia, India, Singapore. I'm a Malaysian, educated in India. I did my BSc from Bombay Veterinary College, and I'm staying in Singapore now, operating within the region. Okay, the topic I'm trying to cover is a big subject. I'm trying to cover it within the half an hour's time. Basically, just give a brief introduction. We need to know the virus biology a little bit, not too much. I think the forum is for the farmers and the veterinarians. And then the transmission is important. Yeah, the epidemiology of the viruses, how to control them subsequently is more important. And we need to know a little bit of human, what is the impact to human diseases. And I will give the final take-home message. I think if you look at this chart, as I work within the region, you can see that the top 5 common diseases among the country. And it is not surprised to see that the avian influenza is top on the list. Either be it the low path or high path, which I will explain a bit later. That is what I collected from when I work within the region and interacting with other veterinarians. If you look at the chart today, this is not very new, but nevertheless, you can see the situation of this virus, avian influenza. It is spreading around the world. Unfortunately, if you look at the graph here, the picture here, the Europe and America for the last 2 years have been very extensive. It is very devastating. I think for many of us operating breeder, you can realize that the animal movement, the breeding stock restriction from those European countries or America have been very tough for the last 2 years. Well, we talk a little about virus biology. I will not go very detailed, but we need to know the basic. If you look at the picture here, the influenza virus here, basically what I want you to recognize are these two, H and N. And these are basic, the virus glycoprotein that defines the subtype. There are many combinations here. I can see they affect all the human beings and animals. But for avian influenza, you will understand the H subtype glycoproteins consist of almost, I think up to now, of course, initially it was 16, now up to 18. And then the neuraminidase, that glycoprotein is about up to 9. So when you look at this combination of these two on the surface protein, the virus is possible to form about almost 144 subtypes. You can see that there's a big diversity of the virus if they intend to really spread and mutate over time. And why these two are so important? I think this surface glycoprotein is the one for the virus to attach the host and get entry into the host cells and causes a pathology. Well, if we talk about avian influenza, I think everybody is very familiar with the terms HPAI, LPAI. What it means basically is a low path or high path. These are the pathobiology of the avian influenza. Sorry. Now, if you look at the chart on the right side, you will see that one of the common influenza that are affecting the mammals and human beings. What we are looking more towards is the H5. They are affecting poultry, very severe. And the H9 also subsequently also classified causes of economic loss to poultry farmer. And of course, other food animals like swine also got affected, not that severe. More importantly is the human. If any of these animals got infected, go inhabit with the human, there's always a chances for the virus that move around and affecting human too. Now, what do you mean by low path and high path? I think basically there are two very basic points. Obviously, high path, they kill all the animals very quickly in short terms. And this is one of the notifiable disease. I think in OIE, if you report World Health, you need to report. Whereas the low path, it is obviously less severe at infecting the animal. There's a chances the animal can recover. Okay, but obviously there's already causes severe impact of the economic losses. But if you really look at how it costs, many people keep asking, what is the difference? Why low pass, high pass? I think there's little more involving inside the virus by itself due to the enzymes, the endoprotease that causes systemic infection in high path versus the low path, the trypsin. Don't worry about them so much. We'll talk more a little bit on it, general term. Now this is the update on Asian HPI. If you look at the chart here, very clearly shown that all the Asian countries are affected. It was reported, this is record from 2002 to 2024. You can see almost all the countries are reporting. It is not absolute because many countries are under-reporting, or maybe they can't even diagnose, or they will not report to the OIE. So you can see some of the area are having green patches here. However, you will realize China lately, Australia, even Australia, which is quite isolated in the early days, are also exposed to influenza virus since 2024. Now, overall, there are more than 77 countries is already reporting avian influenza, and which is belong to the H5N1 clade. Yeah, this is a current 2.4, 2.3, 2.3.4.4b subtype. Okay, for LPI, which is a concern within our Asia region, which is quite common, surprisingly, and you can see here, I think the Indian continent, China, even Russia, even up to Malaysia also we are having that. Yeah, you can see the lineage are basically for our Indian continent are here. Yeah, belong to this group. Yeah, the G1 type, which is group B, which is more common here. It does not cause very acute mortality, but there's a severe economic loss. Little bit on transmission and epidemiology, we need to understand very clearly. I think basically avian influenza is a virus that infecting all the wild animals, especially in the wild birds, the waterfowl, all the domestic birds, including mammal as well. Yeah, you can see that if the birds are infected, especially wild birds, the migratory birds and shorebirds, there's a potential for them to fly and spread across the different countries. So, you know the birds are migrating. If you are an enthusiast of ornithology, they are moving according to the season for breeding purpose, for food resources, and this is a biological system that happen to nature. And you can see there are 8 flyway, just like aircraft, they got a path to fly. What it means is that most of the birds in the northern hemisphere, when the weather getting cold, they will fly south, towards the south to get food, and there's a breeding cycle during that. So in that way, the annual event, if the sick birds are having virus, they will carry along with them and spread. And potentially it's proven already. The wild bird is one of the main source of the avian influenza spread within the world. Now, what are the species of bird? Oh, plenty, many. There are more. The gene pools are very diversified. Now, just to name a few here, this is a crow. Crow also can spread avian influenza, so you can understand crows are everywhere. And of course, all the species are possible, but water birds are mostly get involved. What are the pictures you can see here? I think this is from Pathology books. You can see here, all the waterfowls are the real carrier of avian influenza. These are very commonly seen in northern hemisphere. The five-bar geese, they can fly across Himalayas, to spread the virus towards the south. And these are Egyptian geese. They're also migrating from northern hemisphere toward the African continent to the south, if they are infected influenza virus. So if they are sick, they fly along the way, they'll drop that, they'll spread within the area where they're located. So how they are spreading? As the sick bird carry, normally waterfowls, they found water bodies, lakes, rivers along the shore. This bird will go there and settle down, and water is a very good media for the virus to spread because of the feces. They are passing out the feces, they are eating the prey in the water media, the virus spread very naturally. So as a result, if there's any nearby waterfowls, ducks, or even birds along, the droppings can spread the virus. So that's how they persist And once the flock is persisted, the virus multiply in the body and it shed within, and all the feces are contaminated. There, it will cause an explosive infection. Then you ask me a question, is our domestic bird around the farm will cause problem or not? Yes, potentially, if there's an ongoing active infection. They are not actual reservoir, but they are carrier, temporarily. For example, if there are a lot of dead birds not properly disposed, infected with influenza, the crow will prey on it, they can mechanically transfer. But they are not a natural reservoir as compared to the waterfowl. Now this is a picture to show you during my time. You can see in Vietnam, all these ducks are grow along the river. Once they got infected, the whole river along upstream, downstream are carried with the virus. So the virus are able, you can isolate the virus naturally in the asymptomatic, even the waterfowl. It is very interesting. If you are in Canada every winter or summer, you collect from the lake, take swab, you can isolate many types of avian influenza. They are not pathogenic, but they are there. So the combination of the viruses are present around the environment. What is so important then, the waterfowl? As mentioned to you earlier, the waterfowl will migrate. This is a picture to show the earlier explosive time in the 2003 up to 2006, how the virus has spread in Asia. It was reported in China, exploded up through Hong Kong, and then throughout Asia. Undergo these different stages, the different clade of the virus. You can see these 3 stars here. Either it's fortunate or unfortunate. This is the period where I got exposed. I was working with Zalfa then. We have operation in Vietnam, in Myanmar, in Indonesia. That was a time at the height of the explosion. So we have a lot of bad experience. We also learned a lot of lessons out of this virus damage to our flocks. But what is really alarming us today, I think all of you have read the newspaper and media as lately, the virus are really going very rampant, as shown in this graph here. You can see from the source here, it spread through from Europe, come to America, travel North America to South America. This is a devastating damage to the viruses, to the poultry industries. Now you can see here how it goes then. It started from the northern, it started from the Central Asia. The virus spread through the migratory path. Then it go to the North America. Yeah, from there it travels southward from East Coast and West Coast towards the Caribbean and towards South America. So all along the way, the virus are carried on throughout the way, the clade 2.3.4. Yeah, B. And then from there, it travel upwards. Even Brazil, southern part of Brazil also got infected, which is quite surprising then. So that is the situation today we are facing. It's very alarming. Then you can look at it. How come Asia, we are not so much responsive on that with these viruses? I think potentially you have to be careful, very, very careful. Interesting development in US, as a result of the early infection to North America, the virus has spilled over to cattle. It's a big problem now. Yeah, many dairy herds are infected. And how come? It came from the bird, the contact of bird. And then it is a problem in the US industry now. But luckily, if you drink raw milk, chances of getting the influenza virus. But most of the milk are pasteurized, so the chances are unlikely unless through the milk transport vehicle, etc. So it is a thing need to be watched in the cattle, a bit unusual. Then the worst thing happened also not only to domestic animal. The virus travel, as you see, look at the chart here, towards the southern part of South America, towards the Antarctica, along the coast. They also affecting wild mammals. The marine mammals, the sea elephant, these are reported papers, wild waterfowl, yeah, in Peru, Uruguay, down south, even to the Argentina. So not only affecting domestic animal, there's a wildlife peril also due to the influenza virus. it causes death in elephant seal. Now you can see the picture here very clearly. They're all lying dead along the shore. It is potentially can spread to mammals. We have read many reports about infecting domestic cats, tigers, lions, zoo animal. Yeah, potentially influenza virus is very wide range of hosts then. How to do a pathology and diagnostic? I will share some picture with you where actually we have taken. Yeah, of course, influenza virus, HP, high path viruses cause high mortality. No chance. Once a bird got exposed to flock, you can see within a week, the peril. The mortality very quick. Within a week, all the flock are 100% devastated. Yeah, the typical signs are nervous sign. I will show you some post-mortem pictures. And then what you can see, these pictures from the actual farm that in Vietnam during my time. You can see here, all the birds just drop dead, the breeder, commercial flocks, very typical lesion. They're running, having drooping things, swollen faces. And then hypothermia, you can see the skin turn reddish, and the bird lost control. Eventually, they die due to torticollis and nervous sign. Very classical, and no chance of recovery, no treatment available to attend this case. If you did a postmortem, be very careful. The whole bodies are all hemorrhagic sign. You can see here all pinpoint hemorrhages, even the heart muscles, trachea, severe congestion. Yeah, and even the leg, you can see the hemorrhages. The skin turned reddish and bluish color, cyanotic. Be very careful. I think the virus is shedding everywhere. You need to take care after disposing the carcass. Well, so for LPAI, I think you all are very familiar. It's quite common in India. They don't cause us a severe damage. They attack the respiratory tract and reproductive tract. The real problem you can see actually is a severe egg drop. And then, of course, if there's complication of mycoplasma and other pathogens, the mortality is very high. Otherwise, it take about 1 to 2 months, the animal there will be some recovery. So the predilection is on the reproductive tract, and the egg quality is greatly affected subsequently. Now, how to do a diagnostic then? I think I will not go elaborate all the methods. Basically, more important is the timing. Yeah, so if you want to detect an infection, once the bird showing symptom, the first week you should do very quickly to recover, do a PCR. Yeah, PCR is a norm of today now. I think many labs are available. We can do it very quickly. Of course, we can do virus isolation. That is more on future studies, but I think PCR for immediate detection is good. If not, the collected serum sample, subsequently we can detect the antibody response, either by HI or by ELISA. So many methods, many tools, many kits are available. Yeah, even portable pot kit is available for detection. Okay, disease control and statistics, this is a part of the main topic that I would like to share with you. More importantly is that we know the viruses are highly infectious. So the first thing is immediate isolation. The whole area need to be restricted. Yeah, even involvement of police forces, armed forces in some country to control the crowd and the traffic movement. And then what do? You do a strict monitoring and implement steps to really control, destroy the flock. So the next picture will show you this. You know the infection, where the source comes from. You need to identify the Hitex farm. Generally, it's either in the poultry area, and most of the time it's spread through the marketing system, live bird system. That's why once you got influenza nearby, the mandis and all these need to be totally monitored and controlled. So we know that basically what we do isolation, we immediately kill all the birds, and then we either use a fire, cremate them, or bury them with disinfectant. Proper disposal of the carcass is very important, okay? 2 examples to show you what most of the country do, like in Vietnam or China. There's always a buffer zone. We isolate out, then within the radius of infection, we kill all the bird. We destroy it. Okay, there might be some compensation scheme, but depends on government policy, and then subsequently restrict all the movement. And if there's a necessity, we can even extend the zone to cover. That's a way to restrict the spread of the disease. So if you really look at the control measures as the main topic, what we really look at, The key point is the surveillance reporting. This is one of the difficult things in some remote places. Why? Because the diagnostic services are not good. We can't confirm the disease very quickly. And once, of course, you can master this, really develop a good system, the biosecurity will next measure is to cut out the virus contamination entry to the farm, then other control measures to be taken. And last and least option, if it is out of control, vaccination can be considered as an option, which I will highlight very briefly. Now, the early detection is the point. So government need to set up a lot of stations to collect sample quickly. I think for routine monitoring is very important, but most of the time during certain outbreak, the field veterinarian play a key role to really sample take sample for submission and do a quick test, PCR, to confirm that. I think the other thing is very essential is the education of the farmer. What you need to really do, alarm the industries. The problem with Asian country, I realize that once there's an outbreak, the farmer or the people in the community getting worried, they will not tell people. I think they hide it or they just keep it as a secret. Then the virus spread within control. That is making it more complicated subsequently. So I think transparency in really training the people to understand, to report on time, that will help to nip the disease at a very much early stage. The next step, of course, we know where is the virus. They are affecting poultry. So we need to focus on which are the areas we see the live bird there, either in the live bird market, or is there any waterfowl on any water bodies around, any duck farm. These are the primary areas that we need to pay more attention, to focus on them. These are some pictures you can see here. These are Vietnamese market. They got duck, they got chicken everywhere there. Okay, this is a small farm in Myanmar. In the raised floor broiler house, downstairs they keep the ducks. They will eat all the dropping and the wasted feed downstairs. So the duck and the chicken are going together very closely. And these are the fighting cocks, green fowl. Thailand, in Bangkok, they like to keep this bird. They are high value bird for fighting. So this can be a potential source also of the virus as well. So this is one of the duck farm next to one of the breeder farm. Even they build the wall, the duck is outside in the paddy field. So you can see the virus be very cautious. So once we have a farm, we should be fully aware what is the neighbors. We should monitor throughout the year. Yeah, we can never tell when the thing can come to our nearby our farm. Now, the concern really is a virus shading. Many people talk about it, but this recent paper just published, very interesting, about virus shading. You can see here the LPAI, HPAI. Actually, in fact, in US, when they got a farm that are infected with avian influenza, what they do, instead of course they depopulate, but they don't move the lethal material inside the house. They seal the whole house, keep it there for about a week or 14 days. The temperature of the litter itself will deactivate the virus. Yeah, so that's why if you look generally in pattern, it's not absolute, that most of the avian influenza happening to Asia region are towards a cooler period, towards winter, where the environmental water temperature milder, the feces can survive longer. That's why the virus can be more sustainable in the environment. So high temperature can help to deactivate the virus. How about the disinfectant? Yes, generally most of the disinfectant can be used. For example, chlorine, Lysol, even the raw oxygen. Yeah, depends on the concentration. You can use a different dilution, but please use a proper dilution. If you don't do a proper dilution, there is a possibility of a virus residue there in the PCR. So in later detection, you find you will get a false positive because of the residue virus that is inactivated, but yet maintained in the environment. How about biofilms? I think we don't pay much attention to biofilm. Just now, when you look at the report of shading, it's a laboratory test. So they very clear, they put the virus and challenge. But in the nature environment, the shading is different. They are protected by the mucus, stay in the environment for a long period of time. So biofilm formation is the one that we need to pay attention. Not only for influenza virus, for any pathogen, mycoplasma, E. coli, etc., etc. So we need to take care of biofilm. And then we need to put extra effort to use surfactant, disinfectant to really clean up the house, yeah, to get rid of the influenza virus as well. Okay, the latest concept, I think, to reduce virus shading, can it be done on the live bird? I saw in Malaysia, in Philippines, very interesting. When during the outbreak in LPAI, the farmer is trying to spray disinfectant on the bird. They think that they can cut down the virus. It can to reduce it, but they were not able to eliminate them. So to really consider as a preventive medicine, I think it's possible. We can do a fogging. We can use a fogger. I think most of the houses in India, they have fogger. You can put disinfectant, select the proper disinfectant, the dilution, and when there's an outbreak surrounding the farm, we can do a fogging that will try to reduce the virus shading and contamination. In some places, they even fog the cooling pad with disinfectant. That's one other way you can do that. But be very careful on using disinfectant. They can be toxic if you are doing the wrong concentration. So for live thing, in my experience, we find the hydrogen peroxide is very good. Yeah, especially stabilized hydrogen peroxide. You can fog it in the live animal within the farm. This is not a new thing. Actually, for earlier, there were many papers published on hydrogen peroxide. But what we really learned a lot is from during COVID period. Actually, in COVID period, a lot of building, human habitats, hospital, they are actually aerosol with hydrogen peroxide, the stabilized hydrogen peroxide. And they are very effective to control the COVID virus as well. So that concept has been applied in some area of my customers where they got outbreak. We try to use hydrogen peroxide rather than use other disinfectant. We are worried about other toxic effect of the disinfectant. So these are the fogging method. Depends on the aerosol. One concern is that, if the bird is sick already, we aerosol them, the humidity will kill the bird. Yes, you have to be careful. Yeah, the aerosol particle, the condition of the bird, at what time you need to do that. And for external, no problem. You can use a fogging like this, dry fogger. This is quite effective on the surrounding. Yeah, in the farm, in the processing plant, anywhere, you can do that. So if we have done this, biosecurity, we do management, if we have good practices, cleaning and disinfectant, it's a choice of vaccination. It's a big subject, very controversial. There are two schools of thought. One is saying, why not we vaccinate? One say, no, we have to be very careful. Vaccine is not that simple, yeah, and might not be so effective. I quite agree with both of them, but I think as a farmer, we need to do something. So based on our farm situation, alarm coming, okay. So what are the vaccine you can do? I think you have to select carefully. You have to make sure that once you vaccinate, the farm is no more sterile. I think the status of the country of the poultry status of influenza status are very different. You need to consider. There are many considerations for vaccine. It's not a platform to talk about. I will go through quickly. And basically, these are the countries that's already approved for vaccination. You can see here for LPI, India also, we are now recently approved, which is a good thing to prevent that. And for what are vaccine? Generally, whole virus Q vaccine. There are new vaccines like reverse genetics and recombinant vaccine. All are very effective. But one very important to use vaccine, you need to evaluate, monitor all the time. And also you need to know, we have method to differentiate between vaccinated and non-vaccinated. Because once the farm is vaccinated, you don't know whether they are exposed or not. So you need to do a differentiation. The DIVA method is available. This one chart to show you, the Q1, we monitor the H9 title in one of the layer farms. Very good response with the Q whole virus. You can apply also the so-called the inactive baculovirus recombinant vaccine, which is available commercially. You can also use a HPT, a pox also vaccine, These are all live recombinant. They can be applied, and they are quite effective. So how about supporting the animal? You can vaccinate, but if the animal is not in good condition, what are you going to do? So to boost the immune system also important. There are many options here. Some people use immunomodulator. Some people use some specific feed sanitizer. It's possible. So basically, the whole concept is that once you use the Q vaccine, it might not give you a protection of cellular, but which is not true. The cellular also play a vital part in against virus infection. So I think to boost those immune system are very important by using organic mineral, and here's one of the examples for you to consider. We are very lucky. We also lately, there are new products that's available to attack the virus. These are being enveloped virus. So the lesson learned from African swine fever and the Newcastle viruses, I think the mid-chain fatty acid is one of the valuable things to be considered. Add in the feed as a prevention, okay? And they are expensive, they are not cheap. So the virus, basically the virus ruptures, the mid-chain fatty ruptures the virus membrane. I think naturally we also got good products. Coconut oil, lauric acid is one of the very good mid-chain fatty acids that have antiviral properties. Okay, so in really prevention, influenza virus vaccination, these are very simple basic guidelines to show you what are the methods you can consider, depends on the industries. Okay, I'm finishing. The human infection, I will not go into detail. There are actually 3 types. What is I really want to talk more is America. It's widespread in America, which is a concern worldwide. And then you can see that the virus can spread even H9, H5. And then now they also found out migratory path where human habitat can also carry the virus, another big challenge for us. So nevertheless, there's treatment for human at the moment. Drug resistance can be a challenge in the future. So my end of the presentation, basically, we need to do biosecurity. All these steps have to go hand in hand together to prevent the infection. How about the housing? Well, high density houses, you can see like this, dangerous. We need to really look for more isolation, more separate flock replacement. What about reservoir? You can't control wild bird. The wildlife enthusiasts protect the bird. These are very nice booby. Lately also detected bluefoot booby. Yeah. How is the combination? Plenty of species they can carry. So it's a big challenge for us. Please don't shoot waterfowl. They are good animals. Okay. So this is a problem in US now. I want to alarm this lately. Canadian case that show the human transmission is there. And US, we are watching US, how they're going to control. They are not taken vaccination program as yet. I think they are still deciding. So my take-home message today for all of you, we cannot avoid avian influenza. The wildfowl is there, the reservoir is there. What we can do actually basically is to do surveillance detection. Don't wait until there is suspect disease check. You have to check throughout the year. Monitor the flock within your farm. Okay? Second thing, security, biosecurity. I think all of you are taking good care. Pay more attention on air quality and ventilation. Vaccination strategy as an option. Last option, maybe within a period of time, if there is out of control. And then the public sector cooperation. I think I saw this platform is very good. All the people in the industry come together. That's the only way that we can promote and really promote to protect disease, improve the performance and profitability. And transparency is important. There's nothing to be ashamed if you're not feeling well. Just share with friends and then they will guide you accordingly. And I think we need global support. We can't fight the battle alone. We are living with our neighbors. Nepal is one of our collaborators. Yeah, I think that is important as well. So I'm closing out my presentation. I would encourage, since today is an education platform, these 2 books, I think everybody try to get it and study. One's on the diagnostic, one on the overall influenza. That would be good. Yeah, thank you so much for your attention. Namaskar. Dhanyawad. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. No doubt.